Hello everyone, welcome back to Mad About Cards and Crafts. Today we are celebrating the September release for 7 Kids Craft Store. I get to work with the Halloween kids. We're going to be doing a little bit of scene building. We're creating our own lift a flap shaker, which is super fun. I started out by using the Cat Scrappiness Masquerade sequins. I will have them and all the other products listed in the description box below. This is the Whimsy Stamp film strip die. These are the Halloween kids. The Pizzeria Parlor is this set right here. I accidentally put them in the wrong packages, so I apologize for that. And I did color up my kids using my Zig markers. I'm going to use this circle on the lift a flap so that I have a place to lift the flap. I'm using the Gina K Designs Glitz Glitter Gel that came in a package kit that I recently purchased, and this is the beautiful film strip die. You can see that there were 3 squares that cut out of the center. I am going to be using one of them as my flap. I did create a hinge of my own. I measured the back of that flap, cut the piece down. It's about a 1/2 inch wide, and I scored it in the center, and then I glued it in the back. So now I have this little hinge that I can use, and I have this piece that is going to go behind. I did cut it to the same size as the Whimsy film strip die, so that's 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. The orange card base is 7 by 8 1/2, and it is scored at the 3 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to use the Falling Star stencil to create some ambiance in the background. And you can see that I did cut the center out of that purple piece of cardstock. That's because that's where my shaker is going to go and my lift a flap. So I just used the film strip as a template and cut out that square. I decided to use the film strip over that piece for my stenciling because I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any of the stars behind the film strip, because if I tried to glue it down, it would be lumpy and not smooth. It was much easier for me to clean off that film strip than it would have been for me to try to scrape off any over stenciling that I did. I took my stencil and my palette knife over to the sink, and I did wash that. Now I am going to glue a piece of acetate that I have cut slightly larger than that square, and we're going to set this aside and start working on our flap. I am going to do some heat embossing on that flap. I did use the spider and the spider web that came in that Halloween Kids set. I took my Versamark ink and stamped it. I first used my anti-static tool so I didn't get any stray glitter or embossing powder on my flap. And then I heat embossed it using Wow embossing powder. I used silver embossing powder. And my heat tool did heat up for about 30 seconds before I brought it to the paper, and that helps prevent any of the warping. So this hop is, as I said, sponsored by 7 Kids Craft. There are 5 different stamp sets that are being released. This is a super fun, if you love fall and Halloween, you are going to love this release. Kelly typically will offer a bundle deal, so I would encourage you to watch all of the videos along the hop so that you can see just all the wonderful products that are being released, and so inspirational. As I've said before, we have just a wonderful design team, and they have done a fantastic job. I've had a peek at some of the cards, and you are going to love their cards. There is also a giveaway involved, so if you comment on my video, that is 1 entry into the giveaway. If you comment on the other videos in the hop, whose links will be listed in the description box below, those are more entries into the hop. The last date to enter a comment is 9/18, and we will draw on 9/20, and the winner will be announced on my channel. So make sure that you hop along and follow along and show everybody some love and let everybody know what you loved about their cards or this release. So I am going to start building my scene. I have taken those pizzeria parlor chairs and I am gluing my little girls there. You're going to see that I'm going to fiddle with that one that's on the right because she sits just a little bit lower than the girl with the mask. I did use glossy accents on the mask, on the balloons, and a couple of the little buckets that the kids are holding. And also the bat. You can see that it looks a little bit milky on the black balloon. That's not going to stay that way. It just wasn't fully dry and I was impatient and wanted to get building my cards. I did take a black gel pen and created some polka dots on the back of on my tablecloth. And I am going to use some pop dots as well to pop up some of those little kids. So here's where I'm fiddling with my chair, trying to make sure that she's sitting above the table and that she's not peeking over the table. I think these are just the most adorable little images. They are so fun. I knew that I obviously wanted to create a scene card with these, but when I thought about all of the lift-a-flaps that have been coming out on the market, I thought, you know, I could do that with this card, and wouldn't it be fun not to only have a scene card, but to also make it a scene card with a shaker. And those little sequins are newly released. They're super fun. There's little jack-o'-lanterns and purple bits and stars. It's a really fun stencil set. Kat has several cute sequin mixes that are available for Halloween over at her shop as well. Here I'm going to glue these down. And then I'm going to start building that center scene. I'm going to take the cat that I colored and put the cat in the right-hand corner, and then in the left-hand corner, I'm going to add the balloons and the jack-o'-lantern. I thought about adding the balloons behind the girl, but then I thought that that center flap was looking just a little bit plain and it needed a little bit more interest to it. So I'll add those balloons there as well. And this is a really quick and easy card to create. It didn't take me any time at all. The coloring probably took the longest. That little Frankenstein is so cute. And I don't know, in the final picture, his face looks a little bit grainy, but in real life, that green is not grainy at all. It's very smooth. So I don't know why it was photographing that way, but it did, and it really doesn't look that way. So I'm making sure that my balloons are out of the way, that they're not impeding that flap. And then I'll put this little pumpkin over the top, add my bat. I thought about adding that little skull. That's another piece to this, but I decided against it. I thought that it would look a little bit too busy if I did that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of foam behind the bat and add the bat. And then I'm going to do some heat embossing again on that center flap. I wasn't sure how much room I was going to have. I didn't really do a dry fit with this. Typically, I'll do, I'll lay everything out to see where everything fits and then add my sentiment, but I just wasn't sure. The sentiments are really cute for this stamp set. Unfortunately, they were a little bit too big for this little flap, so I ended up taking one from my stash and using that, and I heat embossed it using that same silver embossing powder. I am going to add 1/4-inch foam tape to the back of my panel, so I'll add it to all 4 sides of that square because I want to make sure that my shaker bits stay in there. And then I'll take my anti-static tool to that center portion where the square is. I'm going to run it around the inside to make sure that I don't have any static. I'm also going to be touching, without removing the release tape on the back of that foam tape, I'm going to be touching the sides because I want to take the stickiness off the sides of that foam tape to make sure that my sequin pieces don't stick to that section either. I'm going to add just a couple more pieces, and then I'm going to add my sequin mix. I did cut another square using that same acetate, and I will put my sequins in, and then I will add it over the back to enclose that. And then I will take all the release tape off that foam and I will attach it to my card base, and that's pretty much going to be my card. I have a couple pictures at the end of this that I'm going to share with you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe. Make sure you like the video. If this was a video that you enjoyed, make sure that you hit that like button. It really helps with the algorithm with YouTube. I am still trying to reach my 4,000 watch time hours, so the more exposure I get. There's a look at that sequin mix underneath, a quick look at the card. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow along on the hop. Have a fabulous day.